So now for one that I'm sorry to do to you, but here we go. Can we play video clip 4?
I've been working for a madman all the live long day. I've been working for a madman, he gives mattresses away. We never make a profit, especially on Labor Day. Can't he see the harm he's causing to his CPA?
It's Sit and Sleep's Labor Day sale with the lowest prices of the year. Save over 50% off Simmons, Sealy, and Serta. Normally $19.99, now just $9.87. With queen size sets starting at just $2.87. Plus, with your good credit, sleep interest free for 3 whole years with your minimum monthly payment and get free local delivery during Sit and Sleep's Labor Day sale.
I've been working for a madman who can't stop yelling free. That's why I'm always screaming, Larry, you're killing me.
Sit Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price or your mattress is free.
That's like a toothache for the brain.
So yeah, that's the ad campaign that probably made half of you irreversibly irritated and no longer interested in the rest of the show. Fade in, West Los Angeles, 1950s. A little boy named Larry Miller, not that one, spends his youthful days trying to make a little money selling newspapers, firecrackers, and rare coins to whoever's going to take them, while he nurtures a dream of growing up to be a professional basketball player with a mantra in his mind: "You're killing me, Larry Bird." This dream did not pan out, but his father Phil was there for him, offering the next best thing, a job in a mattress store. Larry helped out there working for tuition money while he went to Santa Monica College before transferring to CSUN and then dropping out during his senior year. Much to his father's, what I can only assume to be pleasure, he followed dropping out of college with a vacation to Tokyo in the year 1971. But he saw something there that changed him forever. No, it wasn't Godzilla. It wasn't even Rodan. It was Futon. The space-efficient couch that could transform into a bed at will. The only one to defeat Godzilla. This was at a time when Japanese stuff was first becoming cool to Americans, so when he got home, he tried to enlighten his dad in the ways of the futon. But him being an old-fashioned mattress man, he didn't relent till 1978 when he and Larry opened up their first store together, Rivera Convertible Sofas. Yep, catchy name. Located in Culver City, not far from where the current flagship location is, 3853 Overland Avenue, they sold futons, daybeds, and sofa beds, no mattresses. That wasn't a problem because people apparently knew that comfort wasn't going to be important in the 80s. So futons were the way to go. They sold $200,000 worth in their first year, and futons went on to become, unfortunately, not the most regrettable thing from the 80s. They did good business, but that didn't mean that they had made it. It was still kind of tough for them. Like Larry himself was delivering futons out of the back of his car after they closed up shop for the day. For what I can tell, in 1980, they figured maybe a change in name would help, so they rebranded themselves Sit and Sleep, referring you could sit on the futon by day, sleep on it by night. A beautiful invention.
You're not selling it.
Sleep. It's great, trust me. It'll hurt your neck, you'll wake up hating yourself. It's great. But when it came time for actual advertising, all they were doing in the early days was putting flyers on doorknobs and print ads in the Herald Examiner and LA Weekly. That wasn't enough, though. They were struggling to stay afloat. In 1985, a friend of Larry's dad was program director at the radio station KABC and got them an advertising spot on 4 nights of the Ray Bream Show for $25 a spot. And once these ads started running, they got more business and then started to advertise on more radio shows. But Larry wasn't happy with these ads. So to remedy this, he felt like the radio hosts were reading it, they weren't putting enough enthusiasm. So he said, I can't afford an actor to do it, I'm gonna do it myself. Problem was, he was terrible. He was so nervous, it took him like 4 hours to record 1 minute for the first ad, and it did not sound good, but he kept doing it, started getting more and more comfortable, and then the ad started taking shape. The next thing to fall into place was a catchphrase. One bitchin' day in the 80s, Larry took a phone call in front of the guy who was running his ad campaigns. Larry suggested a mattress to the woman on the phone, and she said, "How do I know I'm getting the best price?" He responded, "Ma'am, I'm the president of the company. I shop my competition every other week, and I'll beat any other price or your mattress is free."
Write that down.
I got it. This is going to change the world. The ad guy insisted he use that, and the phrase, "That'll probably be the last thing you think before you die," was born. And then came the year 1991. Everybody in the country had one name on their lips: Howard Stern. In LA, Howard Stern's ex-wives are all here. In
Take
LA,
my lips, please.
Stern was broadcasting in LA on KLSX 97.1, and an ad guy from that station came to Larry asking him to advertise on the Howard Stern show. Larry hadn't heard of Stern, so he listened to him and he said, "This cat's dirtier than crap." So he told him no, and then he told him no 9 more times, and then the guy came back and he told him an 11th time no, and then the guy left, and then he came back into the store crying because his car got broken into outside, and Larry felt so bad for him he agreed to advertise on it, where Howard Stern ended up doing live reads and personally endorsing the store, which ended up growing business by 50%, and by the end of 1992 they actually started making a good profit. Things were so good that in 1993 they started doing TV commercials starring former basketball star Larry. They had already established themselves as the first commercially successful mass distributor of futons on the West Coast, a proud title. But 4 or 5 years in, they had sensed that futons were going the way of the waterbed, and they had started selling mattresses, and by 95 they switched, it was just mattresses. And then business got even better, and Larry saw it was time to expand to new locations, but co-president daddy of his didn't want to do so. So in 1996, he bought out his dad, and in 1997, Sit and Sleep they opened up second store in Tarzana. But not everybody was happy with this expansion.
No.
Larry's childhood friend / accountant, Erwin Zygmunt. Erwin would call Larry begging him not to open another store or do any more free giveaways because it was too much of a financial stress. Larry was annoyed by his accountant nagging him all the time, but it was another ad guy by the name of Kerry Sachs who saw that this dynamic between the two of them might make for a good commercial. So Sachs picked an ad between Larry and his accountant named Murray. Larry said, "No, we're not calling him Murray, we're calling him Erwin," because he was so annoyed with the accountant, he wanted to make it clear who they were making fun of. So Sachs himself decided he would play Erwin, who apparently looks exactly like you'd think he would. And the focus of these new ads would combine the old catchphrase with a new one that Erwin would actually say to Larry in his panicked phone calls, "You're killing me, Larry." So that's how they would advertise. Then the recession hit in 2008, and Sit and Sleep got hit hard because new mattresses were luxury items that could wait. Everyone was sleeping on dirt and potatoes. So it was a tough time. I was in high school. So to convince people that they needed new mattresses, in 2009 they rolled out a new ad campaign focusing on the health aspects of replacing your mattress, stressing that in 8 years a mattress will double in weight from the buildup of sweat and dust mite feces.
Fake news. Science.
Prove it. The new catchphrase became "replace every 8," and this grossed out everybody enough for the business to bounce back. Today they have 38 locations around California. Each store takes in about $4 million a year on average. According to Larry, each of their individual salespeople sell more than an entire competing store does combined. In 2005, they relocated headquarters to Gardena. They spend around $18 million a year on marketing, with the ads put out by Ideology Marketing in Marina Del Rey, who refer to the ads as a psychodrama between Larry and Erwin. It's Whatever Happened to Baby Jane on the radio. Sachs still plays Erwin, and his wife hates the ads and drives around town hearing them on the radio mumbling, "I can't believe I'm married to Erwin." Larry is still president and CEO. The company gives a lot to charities. He's given hundreds of mattresses to firehouses to make sure that they're getting a good night's sleep. They give scholarships out every year. People stop him on the street all the time for autographs or yell to him that he's killing them. So if there's anyone who could get away with a murder in a cry wolf situation, look to Larry. On top of that, he has never had to give away a mattress for free.
Wow.
Never.
Some reputation there.
Yeah. A murderer.